Wow, blessed love and blessed night, man. It's Coach Fire from Real Life Boxing. It's sitting up in here about to watch this Anthony Durrell fight. I might cover it, but let's talk about Chris Eubank Jr. and James DeGale. Good fight. Shout out to Chris Eubank Jr. for pulling it out, man. Shout out to Chris Eubank Jr. for finally staying focused throughout the entire fight. You know what I mean, sticking to the game plan. Um, Fight started off. He started off kind of slow in the first round. You know what I mean? James DeGale hit him with some good straight lefts. But yo, second round, Eubank just came on. Dropped James DeGale in the second round and then just dominated the fight from there on out. He just pretty much dominated the rest of the fight. Um, he looked good. He looked good. He's got the new trainer. You know what I mean? His dad wasn't in his corner. His dad was like sitting down at the side, but still, you know what I mean, motivating him. But he looked really good, and he really beat up James DeGale for the most part. Dropped him twice. Um, one thing that I really liked that he was doing is he was just being really physical with James DeGale. You know how James DeGale likes to fight. James DeGale likes to come on the inside, be real sloppy, smother his opponent. That's how he got the cut. Of course, he got cut in like the first or second round, and Chris Eubank Jr. was just handling that really good, man. He wasn't letting James DeGale rough him up. Every time James DeGale would come in, Chris Eubank would just drop his shoulder real quick and give him a nudge. And one time, man, he like picked him up and slammed him without even using his hands, and that was it was a fair slam because James DeGale hit his head real hard on the canvas, and the ref gave he took a point from Chris Eubank, but it didn't even matter because Chris Eubank dropped James DeGale in that round. You know what I mean, and pretty much beat him up. You know what I mean for that round, but it was a good fight, tough fight. I'm glad that Chris Eubank, you know what I mean, finally was able to stay focused and get the job done. Shout out to Chris Eubank. The fans really love him out there. You know what I mean? They were booing him when when he first came in, and we all know what that's about. You know what I mean? Just because Chris Eubank the way he is. You know what I mean? Mad flashy in his personality, but he doesn't always come out and perform like that. But after the victory, the crowd was really, you know what I mean, really on his side. The crowd really stood up, really cheered for Chris Eubank. So you can tell that they really like him and they just want him to do his thing. So shout out to Chris Eubank for getting the job done. You know what I mean? Finally staying focused throughout the course of the fight. And you know what I mean? Shout out to James DeGale too for finishing the fight because Chris Eubank kind of beat him up in there. Was just throwing DeGale around. You know what I mean? Just manhandling him, and he buckled him, hurt him a lot of times. Just pretty much thumped thumped James DeGale. So shout out to Chris Eubank for getting the victory. Joe Joyce and Bermain Stavern. Oh my God, Bermain Stavern should hang it up. They should have just hung a punching bag in the middle of the ring for Joe Joyce, and he probably would have got better work out of that. Bermain Stavern was terrible. He came out in the first round. He threw some good shots in the first round, but he was pretty much done after that. You know what I mean? He wasn't in good shape. He looked like he was even bigger than he was in the Wilder fight. So just not moving his feet, just not moving his head, and just standing right there to be a punching bag. He should just retire because that's not good. That's not healthy to be taking those type of shots. And I mean, his face was busted up, mouth bleeding, nose bleeding, and for Joe Joyce, he did not look impressive in the victory. I mean, he was, like I said, my man Stavern was just right there to be hit. Joe Joyce just looked really slow. real mechanic, really robotic, you know what I mean, and just slow with his punches. And he wasn't moving his head either, you know what I mean. Bermain Stavern clipped him in the first round with some good shots, you know what I mean. He wasn't moving his head either. So, but congrats to Joe Joyce for getting the win. He said that he thinks he's ready for the top heavyweights. I don't see it. He gets beat by every single one of them. He probably gets knocked out. He definitely gets knocked out by Wilder. Definitely gets knocked out by AJ. Probably gets knocked out by Tyson Fury too. Definitely outboxed by Tyson Fury. So I'm not sure if Joe Joyce is quite ready for the top tier heavyweights right now. But but shout out to Joe Joyce for getting the victory. Shout out to Bermain Stavern, for getting in there because you don't play boxing, but he should really think about retiring. Shout out to Chris Eubank for getting the victory, getting the title back. He says he'll campaign at middleweight or 168. He says he's naturally a middleweight and he'll campaign at both weight classes. So that'd be really interesting. You know what I mean? Even to see him fight at middleweight, you know what I mean, would be interesting. Shout out to James DeGale for staying in there and still putting up a tough fight, finishing the fight. You know what I mean? Like I said, we don't play boxing. It's a fight and anything can happen in it. So shout out to all the fighters, you know what I mean, who's fighting. Shout out to all the fighters worldwide. You know what I mean? It's real life boxing. We're gonna watch these fights. I might cover it. I might go live for it. So shout out to everyone who was in the live stream. Also, shout out to the new subscribers. Shout out to the subscribers of the past. You know what I mean? Shout out to the day one subscribers. We're in here. It's real life boxing. Protect yourself at all times, man. We out of here.